Hello. You Scott?
How you doing?
Hey. Nice to meet you, Jeff.
I
Rich.
remember you.
All right, good to see you, sir.
Hey, let me show you my credentials
I
here
was
so you
gonna
know who
ask.
I'm at.
Here you go, sir.
This is me. I work for the State Department of Justice. I'm a special agent. Okay.
Why don't we have
All
a
right.
seat? Just because it's been a while, Scott, can you get out your driver's license so I'm sure I know what I'm talking to? That'd be great, thanks.
Do you want me to sit, like, I'll pull this over a little bit? Do it that way so you don't feel landlocked? Or you all right? All right.
How was work today?
Long.
There?
Yeah, I'm still here at 3:30 in the morning.
What?
Yeah.
Oh. Is that your current address on Principal, sir?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna ask you, and it's strictly up to you, if you wanna, would you be okay with us recording this, or?
No, I wanna know what this is actually all about.
Sure, I can tell you right off.
First.
It has to do with all the stuff that's been leveled against you guys with by attorneys down there, so many words, you know.
Yeah.
And that's just
And why
basically,
why were you being reinvestigated?
we're not being investigated, don't get me wrong. We're just trying to come up with arguments for all the things that she's kind of saying, and we're trying to be able to give the real deal, you know, what's really happening with it, not so much what how her spin is on it.
So we know you've been interviewed twice before?
Yeah,
How many
at
times
least.
before have you been interviewed, like
Oh.
for a formal interview? I know I've got 2 of the reports from when you were interviewed by
I
state
did,
investigators.
I talked with you once at,
So it's been quite a few times you've been talked to, huh?
At the foundry.
at the foundry.
Yeah, and then I met with, Wheatbeard and there's another guy.
Tall, skinny guy,
Yeah.
Fossbender.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, and that was a couple of times I think was with them.
And I know you talked with Agent Swerlinski one time at a restaurant with Barb.
So yeah, it's been a long
Yeah.
time.
I get it, and that's what we're here to, you know, to pick your brain one more time and see what you might be able to tell us new, tell us different, tell us the same. That's all we're trying to
The
do.
same, it's just that it was,
Is it okay if we record it, or you're having
I
that?
don't want to.
That's fine.
No?
I'm not gonna
Okay.
push it, okay? Look, you're doing yourself a big favor, I think, and you're doing us a big favor, Mikey. So I'm not gonna push it on you, whether this is recorded or not.
What was that?
I don't care.
So again, so you were interviewed 2 times before that I have reports for, and then there's additional reports on it. So actually, we would just like you to fill us in on what you remember from back in that day, and then you know that we're going to ask the question of you of, are you involved in any way?
No.
Okay,
Not
so,
involved
okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Best as you can remember, go through your day on Monday the 31st.
I went to see my mom at the hospital, I went hunting, came back.
So we're talking October 31st, 2005?
Yeah,
Okay, so can you tell us when you left here? Now, where were you living at that time?
on 137.
Were you,
Is your trailer still there?
No,
That's gone?
the lady sold it.
Lady sold it?
Yeah.
so you're living on the property of the Avery, you weren't on the property? Where were
I
you?
wasn't even living with them. Or you mean, where was I?
Or what was your address then? Where were you?
I don't know.
You remember where you're?
Somewhere on 147.
Okay, okay. Actually, I got it right here. 12764 South Highway 147.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
12764 State Highway. Okay. Okay, so again, you said you visited your mom. What time? Like, did you leave your residence at a certain time to go visit your
To be
mom?
honest with you, I don't remember times, but I was there.
Okay. Was there surgery in the morning, in the afternoon?
It was in the morning. I
In the
think.
morning?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Okay.
What hospital? What
uh,
hospital?
Aurora Baycare, Green Bay.
How long does it take to drive to Aurora Baycare in Green Bay from here?
From here,
From that house or from Michigan?
25 minutes, I think. Half hour. So,
Your mom, what kind of surgery was she having?
yeah, back surgery.
Back surgery. Jesus. That's, was she laid up for a while after that? Or?
Yeah, for a little while. I had it twice already.
No kidding.
Once after that, yeah.
Really?
Just got this last year.
Injury from work?
What's the problem with your, is that some kind of congenital?
The first time I herniated some discs,
Mm-hmm.
and they did surgery in 2000, and then I just had it done a year ago, a year and a half ago.
No kidding.
I got 12 springs and
Ooh.
6 screws and 2 rods in my back.
Oh man, that's.
And
Yeah,
still
what do you do
working
for a living?
60 hours a week.
You know?
Nice.
Where do you work?
Just doing fine.
Same place? Okay. Is that here in Michigan?
Mm-mm.
Where's that at?
Manitowoc.
Manitowoc. Okay.
So are you investigating Bobby too?
I'll talk with him. I don't consider me investigating anybody right now. I'm just trying to get facts together, you know? And if that's, I guess part of that is investigation, because that's all it is putting facts together. You know?
Okay.
So we have a case that's closed, but somebody's trying to say that we got the wrong person in jail, and they're trying to name other people.
Yeah.
We just want to sit here and talk to you and just ask you the questions on, are you involved, yes or no?
No, I'm not involved.
Okay, so you're not involved. So
No.
you did not kill
No, I
anyone?
did not kill anyone.
Okay.
But, hey,
Teresa?
Huh?
No. Teresa Hallbach,
No.
if you heard that? Okay, so you,
Where did you
okay.
used to hunt? I remember you said that in one of the statements. You remember meeting Bobby on the road?
Out passing on 147.
Where were you hunting at that time?
Off of Q, toward, it was in Kewanee County.
North on Q then?
Yeah. Yep, off on Q.
You still hunt up that way?
No.
If we were to, at some point, get a map out, would you be able to show me about where it was, or how far north on Q? Can you give me an estimate?
Oh, it was quite a ways on. No, it was across the county line, across Kewanee County line.
Okay.
Yeah, into Kewanee. Up past Bolt Lake.
Bolt Lake?
Yeah, Bolt. Heidemann Lake, or whatever you want to call it. We call it Bolt.
I don't know what that is.
Lake. The real name is Heidemann Lake?
Yeah, Heidemann.
You know how I spell that?
H-I-D-D. Heidemann. I don't know. I
Heidemann.
call it Bolton. They call it Bolt all my life.
Heidemann Lake. How come you call it Bolt Lake?
That's the little.
There's another lake called Bolt near there?
I
No?
think it's a little. I don't know.
It'll be,
Okay.
okay. Google's got
Yeah,
everything.
it's just a couple houses there. That must be a little.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
your mom still alive?
Yes, she is.
Really, where's she living?
2 Rivers.
No kidding.
Yep.
What's your mother's
How
name?
old is she?
71 or 72. Patricia.
Same last name, Tadych?
Yeah. Or Pat, probably.
And you said two rivers?
She pretty feisty still?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I guess. Her sister just died last night.
That's
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So she had her surgery at Aurora Daycare, and it was during the day, you remember?
Yeah, it was.
that?
Yeah, it was during the day.
There was morning hours, afternoon hours.
I remember.
Okay.
It was early morning, mid-morning.
Okay.
Where'd you go after you left
Came
Laura?
home and got dressed to go out. After I left her,
Yeah.
yeah, went with my trailer, got dressed for hunting and all.
And you know roughly about what time of day that was when you got back home?
Oh man, it's after 2:30, 3:30,
Okay.
somewhere, I don't know.
So you said between 2:30 or 3:30, is that what you said?
I think it was more like 3:30 when I got home.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
3:30.
2:30, I don't remember.
Okay.
It was a while ago.
Okay. And how long were you
Yeah,
home?
it's
Yeah,
been
do you remember
a
how long it
years.
takes you to pack everything up for hunting? Don't know how long it took that time? Okay.
No.
Not long, just enough to grab the stuff, get everything you needed, and out you go? Okay.
At the risk of pissing you off, I don't want to piss you off, but it's not my words. Where did Steve get the fucking idea that you would lay it on your mom? I don't believe that for a second,
Did I what?
that you hit your mom.
I haven't fucking clue.
Not a,
It just pisses me the fuck off.
told you I might piss you off on that.
It's everybody else that says I did, and it's absolutely fucking wrong.
Which would have been, did he say that it occurred that day or around
I
that
have no
time
clue.
frame?
When he
So he's
said
just
it,
trying to discredit you by
Exactly.
saying that you're the type of guy that would even punch your own mother.
Yes, it's absolutely wrong.
Okay. Was there ever a heated argument that he witnessed, that he
No,
ramped it up?
I was only around Stephen less than 2 years.
Hmm.
That was it. I was only involved with being around Barb not long at all.
Not long before that happened?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Not long at all.
Okay.
And I know your mom is back up on that, never struck.
You have to ask and find out, I guess.
Well,
I don't know. I didn't. I never hit her. Ever.
Perfect. All right.
No. My wife even called because she wasn't very happy when she heard that.
Well, that,
You know,
I mean, that's just,
it's fucking wrong.
thank you. He's
Mhm.
pretty much there with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bit.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
What kind of, I know you said before he went to jail, you were only in, like, knew him for 2 months, you said? How long did you know him prior to him going to jail?
But I knew him shortly after he got out. I knew him before. I knew who he was. When he got out, I was hanging. Well, how it goes is my wife is my cousin's
Yep.
ex-wife. That's how it
Mhm.
went. So
Yeah.
when they
Yep.
had the celebration for him getting out, then my cousin invited me over there. So that's
Mhm.
2 years or so. But I was only involved with Barb not long before because they got divorced. And
Mm-hmm. And then you guys started to date.
yeah.
Okay. How much did you start to date prior to this October 31st, 2005? Were you guys dating a few months at that time, or
I want to say I really don't remember, but
it was prior to October 31st?
oh yeah.
Okay. And her last name back then was
Janda.
Janda.
Yeah.
Dating Barb Janda, and that is the sister to Stephen Avery.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, regarding Stephen Avery, so he went to jail. How much contact have you had with him since he's been in jail?
Not much.
Okay. All right. Like any phone conversations
Yes.
between you guys?
It
How
was-
many?
We were set up just not too long ago.
How many previous phone calls have you
Me not.
gotten?
Barb once in a while, but I don't.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Stephen called your sister or called you?
Called her.
Okay. How long ago was this?
I want to say about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And that's when it all broke out on the airways. Yelling at them, and they recorded us, and they put it on the internet. And
Who put it over the internet? Who did?
His attorney.
Really?
Yeah, because I have a very short temper. Well, when the guy's accusing me and re-accusing us, this is ridiculous. And so they got me bitching in the background about him, and oh my God, it just went. I was getting threats ever since.
From whom?
That's from who?
Whoever sends them to me on my phone.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Jesus. Is it Through like a Facebook, through a social media?
Through Facebook, through Messenger, through text messages. It's just not very nice.
Anybody that you know, like people you truly know that know where, so it's just some random person that believes
Yep.
and is sending you stuff?
Yeah, some days it's pretty scary, but
I'm hearing you. That's not a good thing.
it's been like this for the last 13 years.
I'm hearing that.
In hell. And now this all come again, and then I
Mhm.
get sit by eating, and it's just not good.
Yeah.
Tell me, what, how many times is, how many times a month does Steve call, Barb?
No, it's just random. It's there's some months there is none. I don't think it'll be coming back again. Yeah, she can go months without him calling, and most of the time when he called, because he couldn't get a hold of his mother, so then Barb would call, and then she'd get to the phone, and then he'd call her.
So if you had to throw a number on how many times over the last 13 years that Stephen talked to your now wife, are we saying it was like 10 times in 13 years, or 5, or like once every 6 months, where it would be in the...
I couldn't really put a number on it. I'm not around, really.
Okay,
See your call.
but you don't think it's been often?
I know it hasn't been on.
Okay.
I know it hasn't.
Okay.
Just-
So when he called that day, what was going through her and your minds?
She was talking about something, and she said something, and I just went bitching in the background, and needless to say, Zellner was there recording and put it out, said I'm such an abusive person, here it is, and all this bullshit. It's just, I was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's accusing me
Yeah.
and his nephew.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
If you want to take a look at a copy, I've got a copy of that transcript along if you want.
which one?
The phone call. If you want to look at it.
Oh, I don't remember what I said, but I know it's not.
We'll be honest with you. We wouldn't be happy either.
No,
So we don't blame you. I would not be happy if somebody threw me under the bus like this too. But you understand why we have to come here and talk to you, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I just-
So we have to, keep an open mind on the investigation, see if you could be a suspect, and if you're not, then tell us why, and rule a lot of this stuff out. Yeah.
I wasn't involved.
Yep. Yep.
I didn't even go there that often. She came by me because,
Mhm.
if I'm not mistaken, I think her ex-husband was still living there at the time.
Oh,
And she'd
okay.
come to my trailer.
Okay. All right. So you guys were like hidden relationship at that time, kind of?
Yeah, kind of, sort of, but
Okay. All right.
I really
That's not
didn't-
illegal. We're not thinking anything bad of you guys or
really
you or.
wasn't around, as I call it, the compound at the time, but I don't know.
I'm hearing you.
I just got wrong spot at the wrong time, I guess, or involved with the wrong person at the wrong time.
So if you guys saw each other,
At the wrong time.
so if you guys saw each other, she came by you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I barely even knew the kids at the time because it was only a short period of time there that yeah, my cousin, when they were married, I'd go there once in a while, but I wouldn't be around her. I'd be doing things with him, so
Mhm.
it was other I don't know. I wasn't around.
Yeah.
Wasn't involved with him.
Did you know or ever meet Teresa Hallbach?
Not even close. Not until we seen her on the news.
Let me get along with Brian Dassey.
It was good at first until he threw me to the family underneath the bus because I can just guarantee he's lying for what he told Zellner.
What's he saying? What'd he say?
That Barb's the one that called out of the trailer and stuff about Bobby being there. And, yeah, it's just,
So he told her that Barb's the one that set up the
Yeah.
auto trader thing?
Yeah.
Why would he say that if
You don't
it
know.
wasn't?
he won't even talk to her since she found out this was going on. What we think has something to do with Zellner. Zellner and her investigators met with him. And ever since then, it just went downhill. Yeah, his word that Bobby did something, and or wasn't there, or was there and seen her. I don't know, I don't get involved because I could care less. It's,
But before all this with Zeldin, you got along okay, kinda?
okay, kinda, yeah, he was a very edgy person. He's, I don't know, we all think he's got bipolar, but he won't go. One day he's hugging and telling you he loves you, and the next day he wants to. Well, this is all bad. That one day we stopped and we were messing around with I was trying to find order electricity. And I said, holy fuck, dude, I just lost it. Last summer I lost it. A real close friend because he got electrocuted because he was doing the same thing.
Oh, God.
And he kicked me off the property. All right, well, no problem.
Mhm.
We haven't truck him up, and we haven't talked since.
Mm.
I said, he's sticking my nose in this business and shit. And it's like, dude, I love you. I care
Yeah,
about you.
yeah, yeah.
You're gonna die.
Mm-hmm. Don't do it that way.
You know, I lost a friend the same way.
Yeah.
But he did it when he was in front of his granddaughter and just fried the piss out of him.
Oh,
Nasty.
really? Oh, my God.
And then
That's awful.
they came around the corner of the house, it's like, holy fuck. Dude, and he just snapped on us. So I was like, whoa.
How do you get along with Bobby?
Oh, me and Bobby are great. Now we are.
Did you ever have any rough patches with Bobby, or not so much?
Not really. There's stepfather things, you know. Remember, I'm the guy that came in. They were already old.
Oh, they're, yeah, older boys at that time, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it was tough.
Any boys still living with
With
you
us.
and Barb? Okay, so everybody's grown up and moved out.
Got their
Okay.
own families and kids.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah. Being grandpa's great.
Good, good.
Where's Blaine live then?
The 2 Rivers.
How do you get along with him?
Really don't. When we're all together, it's fine. But
You see him?
no, we don't see him.
Do you think this incident with Teresa Hallbach investigation kind of split the family in a bunch of different directions?
Really.
Recently, or right at the very jump back
At the
in?
beginning, it was bad, and then it got pretty good. And then now that all this came out, Brian's got Blaine on his side and saying that we're bad people. And
So it's bad again? When did it start up? Right when this
Yeah.
publicity and everything?
Bullshit started up again.
So what family members aren't talking to other family members? Like who's hating on each other now?
It ain't so much hating, just don't talk.
Okay. Like, does your wife talk to her 3 sons? Besides, and I know she talks to Brendan, but does she talk to her other 3 sons?
Bobby all the time.
Okay.
And since Zellner went and her investigators talked to Brian, well, I'm not sure if they talked to Blaine, but then they don't talk to Barb at all.
So Blaine doesn't either, you
No.
say?
And they all work together.
So Blaine,
Where do they work?
Woodland basement, or they work second, she works days.
Blaine and who's the other son again?
Brian.
Brian. So Blaine and Brian don't really talk to Barb.
No.
Wow. And
Yes,
Blaine and Brian and Barb all work at the same company?
Yeah, but
With different hours.
shifts. Yeah, it's a mess with this.
Oh, that's sad.
It is sad.
It's awful. It's awful.
We had a-
What's the name of the? Yeah.
And it just got bad again with all the bullshit.
It's like picking a scab, kind of.
And then think it's healed, and then it's coming right back.
This was a kick in the bag for everybody.
Sure. Where does Barb work again with Blaine and Brian?
Basement.
Does Travis, do you know Travis Fabian?
Mhm.
Travis work there too, or where does he work?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
just thought I'd throw that in.
I don't know.
All right.
So, any talk about other people being involved other than Stephen or
Who?
Brendan? Just any talk about from anybody?
We don't talk about it.
No? Okay, so there's never any talk about
No.
why Stephen and Brendan were railroaded because really somebody else is involved or anything? I mean,
I tried not to talk with my wife about it a lot.
it still affects her pretty good because her son's locked up?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
we just original thing, we really don't discuss it much. We haven't.
Sure. How often does she go visit Brendan?
We go quite a bit.
So you go with too?
Oh, yeah. all the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Where's he?
He's in Portage.
Portage.
What's all the time? Like monthly or every other month? Weekly. Oh.
Sometimes twice a week. Sometimes we leave right after she gets home and we drive down there and drive back home and go to work.
What's your feeling about Brendan's involvement?
I don't believe he's involved at all.
Okay. What do you think about Stephen?
Well, that's a different story. I don't know. I don't know.
So he's a maybe? You could maybe see him do it, or you,
I didn't see him do it.
no, I'm saying you could maybe see that he could have done it, you know what I mean? Like
The way he
thinking,
controlled and ruined his family's life in the 2 years that he was out, yeah.
do you think anyone also did it with Stephen? Like any of the other, his brothers, which would be your
I don't
wife's
think so.
brothers? Anybody ever have their own theory on it? Like you ever talked to one of the brothers who said
No,
that,
don't even talk to them about it.
so it's kind of like this
No,
elephant in the room thing that everybody walks around and doesn't talk about?
no,
Okay. All right, so no discussions on it.
no,
Okay.
none. It's,
If there would be discussions, is it small factions of the family whispering in a corner and leaving certain people out, like you could be one of them? Or just nobody talks about it that you see?
if they talk about it over and on their own, I don't know.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like,
That's
yeah,
a fair
yeah,
statement.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. That's fine.
I don't
Gotta
know.
ask the questions, you know?
I don't know. But when we're around them, we don't talk about it.
You remember, I'm gonna feed you, and I'm ask you if you remember. At one point, one of the interviews that you did previously, let me find this. On 11/1, excuse me, 11/10, you're interviewed and you stated that you had come from the hospital, come down to the Avery, like you say, the compound, and picked Barb up and you went back up to visit your mom.
That's where I came out from hunting.
After you came home from hunting, okay. Okay.
So when you drive into the compound, you go past trailers of
Go past,
what do you go
back to the house
past?
back there, you go past Dolores and Al's house,
Mhm.
to the trailer.
So in the first interview you did on 11/10, you said that Barb and one of her sons was at the fire with Steve. In a subsequent interview, 11/29, this was at Willman's Restaurant. Is that still open here in town?
Bud Williams, yeah.
Okay. You said that Barb came out of the trailer and jumped in the truck and you guys went up. Which way was that? Do you remember?
What do you mean, which way?
Which one of those statements is the real one? Because she couldn't have come out of the trailer. In one interview, you say she came out of the trailer and got in the truck. In the other interview, you said that she was standing next to Steve and one of her sons by the fire and came into the truck. Do you remember which one of those was right?
Do you remember the fire part?
I remember the fire.
Okay.
That's when we came back. I don't know
So when you showed up there to get Barb, do you know, or do you remember where she was? Where you spotted her first? Was she indoors and you had to go in and get her, or was she
I
outdoors?
don't recall. I don't remember.
That's understandable.
So tell us about the fire. What do you remember
Oh,
about
no, it was
the
big.
fire?
It was a big fire. decent
And at
sized
what
fire.
point did you see this fire? When you were driving away or driving in or both?
Come around the cul-de-sac.
Okay, and who was at this fire? would you call it a bonfire, or you just call it like just a
Fire.
regular yard fire that they were burning stuff in?
Yeah.
Was it an actual fire pit, or did
No.
they created a fire pit to just burn
burning
stuff?
on the ground.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell us more about that you
I
remember?
don't know, I was only there a little while.
Sure. But you remember who was there, or
Yeah.
who you saw at it? Yeah, who was there?
Steven was there for sure. Brett, I don't know I don't know, it's in my statements.
Yeah, well, here's what you said, and I can quote you on this too. You said one of the boys, one of the younger boys.
Then it was, must have been Brendan at the time, because like I said, I was only involved with Barb, and I didn't know the kids that good at
Right.
that time, so I don't know.
Because I think, from what I remember, Blaine had gone trick or treating with
I
somebody.
think so, I
So
think,
that,
So do you remember just two people then being at that fire? Those
Yeah.
two? Okay. And did you guys go talk to them?
I didn't,
But Barb did.
she did after I drove out the driveway,
Oh, okay. But you didn't see that.
I didn't see nothing.
Did she tell you later that she went and
don't
talked to him?
remember.
Okay, all right. And we understand, it's been a number of years and we totally
Thank you.
understand.
I'm-
Well, no, I mean,
here's.
well, we know that you gave statements in the past. We just, with this new information, we're like, okay, well, we gotta talk to you again, and you did give these statements, so that's why we're giving you some, okay, regarding this, yeah, yeah.
Would I be shocked to hear that? Go ahead and ask me a question from 13 years ago. See how well I
Yeah, we wouldn't remember a lot either, so it's understandable.
Don't,
Can do my best. I don't know.
and that's all I'm asking of you.
We appreciate
Yes,
that.
Honest to God, Scott.
We appreciate that.
You're doing your best, and you're doing very well.
Mhm.
From
Yeah,
what I can see.
and we appreciate you talking to us too, we really do. So, thank you very much.
Do you know, have you ever met or do you know two kids by the name of Ryan Hilligus and Scott Gaylord?
Nope, all I know is their names from what was going on.
Never met them, never had any
met 'em.
contact?
Never, ever.
Okay. I figured out what happened to the old trailer. And that's good of you. I get up in the middle of the night when I can't sleep and write questions.
So we don't forget, yeah.
The way I feel I should have been doing that.
Aw. Have you ever had just a direct face-to-face conversation with Bobby about what he saw on the 31st?
No, no, not really. I don't think so. We may have talked, but to remember what we talked about, no.
Okay. Would you remember it if he would have told you I saw her drive away, or?
I don't.
Did Barb ever have a direct conversation with him about this? Do you know?
I don't know. Don't know.
Somebody I need to ask is Barb.
You're correct. Not me.
Do you think she'd talk with us about this? You know her better than virtually anybody.
She might.
I'd love
Because
to,
she's not
you know.
happy with the situation.
I'd love to
Yeah,
talk
that'd
Not
be
for
great.
us,
about
you know,
this.
for Zellner blaming me and Avi again. She's not happy with the
What is,
situation.
okay, now, there's,
Now, if you want, I can call her. She can come here.
what is she done with work?
She's already at home.
Would you be able to? You know, and just, I'll tell you what, if all she wants to do is think about it for now, I'll be glad to come back another day. I
Yeah.
would. It's
Yeah.
no
Call and
big
ask
deal.
her.
Okay, okay. Does she know that you're talking to us?
Does she-
Okay,
does
good.
she think
Okay, good.
Steve's innocent?
What?
Does she think Steve's innocent?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a sour subject.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially now with what's
Yeah.
going on, right? Yeah.
So there's enough stress.
Yeah. No,
Sure.
really.
Sure.
I'll leave that to you.
Yeah.
You know, if she doesn't wanna come today, but if she wants to think about it, we'll come back. It ain't that
Yeah.
big a deal for us.
Yeah, we're not that far away, so we can come back whatever day's good for her.
It's, if she wants
Or
to talk
today.
with us, if she doesn't
Okay.
work today, that's fine.
What you doing? That's what I asked. You want to come down here and talk with these guys? All right. Okay, bye.
She is? Oh, good. Excellent. Thank you.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Here again, this is my own question, and I'm pissing off a little bit, but I'm gonna ask it, because so far, you haven't punched me even
I want
once.
to drink too.
We appreciate that too.
During the past, in earlier statements to the coppers, were you in any way trying to minimize or prevent Stephen from getting into trouble?
Was I?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, by maybe fudging on
No,
facts here and
I
there.
didn't fudge on any facts.
Did anybody ask you to fudge on facts?
No.
I mean, was there a talk saying, okay, we can't help the investigators build a case on our family,
Who
so
would have talked to me about?
whether it would be Barb's parents or Barb or anyone. So no one's ever said anything to say, let's come up with a story to help our family?
No, because they didn't like me. They
Really?
still don't. No.
You're
Really?
not.
Why?
Not on their hip parade.
Is that because of the
I don't-
relation
I don't
to,
know.
okay, they still don't know?
Oh, we get together, but it's,
Mm.
if you see it, they'll just slip my throat again, and Bobby's.
Sure.
It's all coming from Stephen, that's she's
Before,
doing this,
you
so.
said that they're trying to do it to you again. What was the first time they tried to do something like that?
At the beginning, I would think that, I don't know, that's why I said, in that phone thing with him, yeah, it's because at the beginning I felt like they're throwing it towards me, you know, had nothing to do with it.
So back in 2005, you felt like they were trying to accuse you of
Oh,
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And who was like the spearhead of trying to say that you might be a guy to look at?
Stephen. Yep. And he's still, his my mother-in-law just, I don't know. He's the ringleader. He still is, right behind bars.
Were you doing anything at that time to try to minimize Barb's involvement?
No.
Because I know, here's the deal, and I found one thing, that it's a brand new relationship, okay? And Jesus Christ, I don't know what anybody's gonna think about if she's staying over at my place. But later on, at first you're saying, no, she comes home about 11 o'clock, and then later on you're saying, oh, she stayed all night. That's the
She
kind of stuff.
What do you mean, when she went home, or?
Yeah, whether she stayed or whether it doesn't mean a
I
hill of crap.
remember
It's-
then talking, and I am now.
That's the way it should
I don't know what's
be.
going on after
Sure.
these guys believe this
Yeah.
could come, you know. I
Well,
don't
we're
know.
not looking to,
And
like
likewise,
arrest you?
I'm
No,
scared
we're
you're
not.
just sitting here
All right,
talking.
well,
Oh, man.
all right,
I'm
well.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
We're
we're
just
not-
on the phone.
We're three guys
Yeah.
having a conversation. Is all
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, it ain't. You still got badges.
You know
Big
what?
difference.
Well, we understand.
I'm scared shitless.
We understand.
I told you that on the phone.
I know
the
you
other
did.
night.
You did, and part of that I get.
I don't know what's going on. Or
That's
what's-
what we're trying
Well-
to get to the bottom of too, what's going on. And likewise, I asked you if you tried to minimize or in any way, lessen Stephen or Barb's impact. You tried to do that with Brendan too, lessen what he was doing or not.
No, I don't believe so. I don't know. I don't believe it.
Okay.
I really didn't know him back then. Like I
Mhm.
know him now. Well, here comes my Spitfire now.
She looking happy or unhappy?
Well,
You never know.
yeah, she's handleable. That's my little boulder.
Hello.
Hi, Barb.
Hi.
My name's John Dieter from the Sheriff's Department.
Hi,
Nice
Jeff
to meet
Wish.
you.
I'm with the state of Wisconsin for Special Agent. Okay? All right. Thanks for coming and talking to
We're
us.
trying to-
Appreciate it.
Figure out what's going on here with Zellner and all that stuff.
Don't know.
So that's why we're here. It's one of those things where, okay, somebody's trying to say that your husband's now involved, along with another family member, and, so we gotta come here and talk. and just say, okay, did you? And he told us no. So it's pretty much what's changed since the last statements that have been given back in the day has, kind of like what's going on. So that's what we're kind of hoping, to talk to both of you. We do know about that phone call. We didn't hear about it on the internet,
No.
but we heard about it just based on it being a phone call from Stephen from the
Was it
jail. Yeah, so
How many times in the past, Barb? You don't have your driver's license with you, do you? Okay. But I
This
believe
is my
you.
wife.
You are. Okay. How many times have you spoken with Stephen since you've been incarcerated? By phone or visit him or what?
You expect me to remember that?
Just a
Yeah,
good
but
guess.
ballpark number, I did.
is it
I
like
didn't
once a
know.
month for many years or once every 6 months or? Don't know.
Probably, I'd have to say maybe 8 times.
Oh,
10
it's more than what I
times,
gave you,
10
right?
times or
And
so.
that's good.
I don't know exactly.
Yeah, it's,
So-
Do you ever go to visit him?
I used to. I haven't been up there in a long time.
a couple of years, huh? Maybe
He
5
just,
years.
actually, he just put me back on his list.
To fill
Oh,
some-
he took you off for a while?
Why was that, I wonder? Okay.
I don't know if it was to put somebody else on, so somebody else could take my mother up there, or what.
Mhm. Do you use Tadych or do you use, which last name? Do you use your?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Your birthday, I know we have it somewhere, but
11/7/64.
1764. Okay. Middle initial, Barbara?
E.
E. Okay. And so, do you know who killed Teresa Halbach? Okay, so you do not know. Okay. And
I wish I did.
did anybody ever tell you that they have some information on who may be responsible?
Scott got a text from Kevin Romo,
Kevin?
What do you have to say?
He just told us they seen
seen the
the rat
vehicle.
Barb and Barb.
How much do you believe him?
Kevin? No, not really.
So what was in the text? What was in the text?
I don't think a lot of this stuff is somebody
Just that
this one
he's
would be a part of
seen the
what's going on.
vehicle and that he's seen Colborn at Cynics.
So who at the Cynics?
Colborn?
Colburn? Cynics. And that's a gas station here in Mishka?
Yep,
Yeah, that's where
right,
he drove.
right on the corner.
Okay. Okay. Anybody, and by the way, this is just my phone, it's not on or anything. Anything else that anything you want to talk to us about? We'll let you talk a little bit. I'm sure you came here wondering what's going on, but you have any
What do
questions
these
of
guys
us
wanna
first?
know?
All right, I'm gonna start.
Well-
I'm gonna just ask a bunch of questions. Okay. I know in this phone call that Stephen made to you where you got everybody all rattled up,
Mhm.
you said you didn't have internet at the time.
I don't remember.
Do you remember?
Honestly.
I can, it seems to me that you had dial-up.
Did
Did you have dial-up?
mention-
Because in one
mention
point,
something like that, man.
you're talking to one of the other boys and you say, I can't get through because Blaine must be on the internet. When you're talking with Brenda,
I don't remember.
Okay.
Honestly.
When do you think that you might have gotten, like years later, or
I
don't remember? So you
Years-
could have.
What do you mean by years later?
Like, so 2005 is 13 years ago. There was internet back then. It wasn't the fast stuff we see now, but do you think maybe you got it in like 2008 when you
We weren't
moved
even
to a...
living there in 2008. We
Yeah.
moved out
Okay.
shortly, we left
We
shortly.
moved out in 2007.
Yeah, we bought a house right after.
So do you remember having internet at that location at any time?
Honestly,
Still don't know. Okay. Okay.
that's
All right.
too many years ago. I
that
don't
this
Okay.
whole computer thing that Steve's talking about, where was the computer? Was it a laptop or a tower drive?
It was a regular
A big,
top desk.
big desktop one. Where was that kept?
I think one of the boys' bedroom.
You remember which one? Boys must have shared a room, I guess.
Yeah, they did. Honestly, I don't know. I don't remember.
Who
if it
shared
was
who
in,
shared a room? Who was together?
Brian and Blaine, and Bobby and Brendan. They also did have a computer in the living room at one time too.
The same one?
Yep.
Do you think you would have had the computer in the older boys' room or the younger boys' room?
Probably Bobby's and Brendan's.
So in the younger boys' room, probably? Keep them occupied
No.
with games or something?
Bobby and Brendan, Brendan's the baby.
Yep, yep.
Bobby's in between.
Oh, okay, so it's
and
not the two
Brian.
oldest and the two youngest. Okay, I got that backwards then. Okay, so you think it was maybe in Bobby and Brendan's, possibly?
Possibly.
But are you
But
sure
it's-
that's a good guess and you got a 50-50 chance of getting that right?
I don't know.
Okay.
At that time, it could have been in the living room. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
Okay.
And everybody used to use a computer. My ex-husband used to be on it all the time.
Did the computer have a password? Was it password protected?
Honestly, I don't remember. Like I said, that's 12, 13 years ago.
Yep.
Any other family members come there who might not have had a computer in their address that would come and use it? Like, would any of your brothers use it?
Just put it this way. I never used to lock my house.
You never what?
I never used to lock my house. So
Oh.
anybody could have went in there. Anybody.
Would you give the open ticket to say, hey, if you need to come into my place, just come on in, grab a beer or grab something or use my computer? Or you think they may have
No.
just did it on their own?
Probably did it on their own. Because I worked days.
Do you
And the
still
boys
have the
were always
computer?
yes.
Does it still work? It's just, do you got something more modern? And
I have a laptop
no.
that
Okay.
I can usually use for pictures, do pictures and
Is that computer still set up or is it just kind of sitting in a corner somewhere
just
gathering
sit in the
dust?
corner.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you something. Think about something. I'm gonna ask you because if I don't ask, I won't know. Would you be willing to let us have that again?
Take it.
We appreciate that.
I have nothing to hide.
Excellent. So your doors were always open.
Always. I
Steve,
never locked it.
Did you
It's a consent
ever
form.
leave Steve into the house with permission?
Well, like I said, I work days, so I don't know if he went in whenever. You know.
But did he ever have Stan just come in, complete, my house is your house kind of thing?
He walked in no matter what, so.
Okay.
So there's no knocking, it was just all of a sudden, there it was, the door opening, and there he was. And how often do you think Stephen would just come into your place? Was it a daily occurrence, or was it once a week, or a rarity?
Oh, a couple times a week maybe. When I was home. When I wasn't, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be anybody coming in. And,
Right.
You know, you could be living all and you wouldn't know the difference unless the pizzas were all gone.
But I know his ex-girlfriend Jody,
Mm-hmm.
she used to drink a lot. And I always had my liquor up on top, my cupboard, and half the time it would be gone.
Oh, so she'd, maybe if she was out, she'd come into your place and grab it?
She was an alcoholic.
How about Stephen?
Stephen never drank.
Never did, huh?
Brad said an affidavit that you tried to have the computer reformatted.
Brad just said,
No, no. I asked him if he could clean it because it was slow. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I think that was way before this all happened.
yeah, Brad's just in it for the fame and publicity of this whole deal.
15 minutes of fame is what it is.
And who did you ask to have that done again? I missed that part.
I asked Brad, but I don't believe,
Brad.
I can't remember if he did it or not. I know he had asked me for, I don't know if it was a password or something, because he said he could do it at home.
No, okay. So did he ever just take it and then bring it back at a certain time?
I believe so.
Okay.
By all this, you mean by like what happened in October of 2005? Or when? It was before all this happened.
Well, before whatever was supposed to have happened there.
In October of 2005.
Yeah,
Okay.
Honestly, I'm thinking it was way before that I asked him
Okay.
to look at it.
Excellent. He says that you asked somebody to reformat it. Do you remember that?
No. I just
You
asked
don't
him,
remember or you didn't
no,
ask?
I asked him to clean it out because it was slow. To try to make it faster, is what I asked him.
Okay, great. Now,
So was that internet based?
Huh?
So that would have been internet based then if it was prior to 10. So that meant you would have had
Probably.
internet
Could have
to make
been.
it faster? Okay.
Like
it
I
could have
said,
been.
I don't remember if I had it or not.
Mhm.
It's
Oh, you'd
just-
remember. I mean, I remember vividly turning on my computer and it sounded like cats were in a blender.
Yeah, trying to get the call up working, exactly.
Well, like I said, I worked 10 hours a day. And back then, it was from 6 to 4:30.
6 what, P or 6A?
6 a.m.
6A
to 4:30 p.m.
to 4:30 p.m.
Look, you got four healthy young men in your house. Okay. Finding porn on a computer is not going to be a big shock to me.
Mhm.
Did you know?
Boys will be boys.
That's
Yeah.
it.
You know,
Did
Yeah.
you know? Did you know
boys
any?
at town.
Did you know any of the? Did you know of any porn on your computer?
No.
I mean, you're a big girl.
Honest
If you
to God.
downloaded it,
Honest to God.
It's not illegal to look at porn.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
But my ex-husband got into all that stuff.
Okay. So you know he
That
would
I
look
know.
at, you know
Oh,
he
yeah.
would look on that computer?
He was always on the computer.
that's which. No, your husband, Tom.
Did you ever look over his shoulder and see what kind of porn he was looking at? Okay. Would he admit that to you, or would you walk by and say, there's another naked
The
girl?
reason why I say he was always on the computer, I never seen him look at this stuff,
Oh.
but he would go out and buy porn tapes and watch them when nobody was home.
What type of porn would it be? I mean, did you see the tapes? Was it a certain, there's like genres of porn. Some people have preferences to type of things they see. Did you see any of that stuff?
I don't know, I don't even remember the names of the
Okay.
tapes.
Okay. How many
No.
porn tapes did he own?
Quite a few.
What's quite a few? 50 plus? Like a
Oh, no.
huge collection, or?
No, not that many.
10,
Maybe
15?
8, 10.
Okay.
And they were the
Yep.
VCR tapes.
VCR.
Yeah, the VHS.
Long time ago.
Mhm.
Where was Tom during this time when all this was going on? Was he living? I'm sure he was out of the house if you were sticking around a little bit or not, or what?
We actually separated October 15th is when he moved out.
Was it the 15th?
Yep.
They were still there
No.
around that.
So
So see, I wasn't involved in this family very long.
No,
Mhm.
I'm,
So,
that's a fair statement, isn't it? My.
tell me the truth.
Mhm.
They don't pay to lie.
That's,
Yeah. Where did he move to?
Somewhere in Manitowoc.
Okay. Did he still come by after that to get stuff, or once he was out, he was out?
He was out from my house, yes.
Okay. Did he go to any
You
other?
know your doors are open a lot?
Well, he lived with me.
Mhm.
It was a question I thought I asked this far.
Was he welcome on the property after the 15th, or was that like
Not by
a?
me.
Okay. Do you think
But
Stephen or anybody else
he
in the
did
family would let
go-
him?
He did go down to my parents' house all the time. And he used to go up north with my parents.
After you guys separated, he did that?
Yep.
I told you,
For
like,
what?
right?
For,
So the parents,
About a
like
year
Tom,
or so.
didn't like Scott, huh?
oh no, he didn't
Mhm.
like, they didn't like Scott at all.
Hmm.
No.
And like I told him, you don't have to live with him, I do.
Mm-hmm. And your parents also lived on that same property, right? How close? I've never been there, I haven't seen it, so it's within how much amount of distance are we talking? Is it one road with a whole bunch of things going in a direction, or?
My house used to be here.
In fact, can I show you something? Yeah,
Why
if
don't
you can
draw
just,
a map, Barb? Come in off 147.
My house is here. The trailer is here.
can you put your initials there, so that would, okay, and then whose trailer is that?
It's Rolly Johnson's actually.
The one Steve lived in.
The one
Oh,
Steve
what did you
lived
call
in.
it? The red trailer. It's still red, right?
Okay.
So just put,
Yeah.
yeah, red.
That was gonna.
Okay, can you just put Stephen lived there at that time? Because we were just talking about 1031. So Stephen lived there, you lived there with Tom and your kids.
Yep.
Well,
Until
Tom moved out,
October,
and yeah,
yeah.
okay. Where were your parents and where were other family members?
My parents are up here. And Chucky is was over
Was
there.
over there.
Chucky didn't
At
live
that
on the
time?
property
He
anymore?
lives here now.
Oh, he moved into your trailer.
Do you put Chucky in just put
Yeah.
parents? And so we don't forget. So, let me look at how you drew this. So, Avery Road, so 147, so Avery Road, the only
That's
people
the
on that
one
is your
south.
road, right? So it's your road, they named it after you, okay, your family. So as it comes in, this is all your family property? Where's
Not
the,
this.
This year, this
This
section.
year.
oh, okay, so you don't own that, okay, so
No.
this. And then where do the cars start for the
All
junkyard?
here.
It's all throughout, around?
Because the house is in that.
Get your fingers out.
Okay, okay.
Told you.
So
Let
right
that
here,
be a lesson.
right here is all the cars, huh? Okay,
I'll just go like that.
okay, all right,
And then
thank you.
down here is here.
More cars there, okay, okay. Is your family still running the business? Okay, okay, who runs it now?
Chuck.
Chuck does? Okay, so Chuck lives.
Chuck and Earl.
Chuck and Earl do. Okay, all right, great, thank you.
On your computer, the one that was looked at, there's a page that has a picture of Teresa Halllock, and right next to one of your brother, same page on it. Do you know anything about that at all?
I'm not computer smart.
Do you go on the computer much? Did you go on that computer much?
No, usually, like I said, the boys, Tom, and maybe Steven. I don't know.
So you really don't know who might have created that photo? Because it's two photos that were taken separately and put on one page together. See, any idea who it might have been?
Did you ever see that photo? No?
Do you know anything about some files on there that are labeled Teresa Hallbach DNA? None of those? Now, Zellner is saying that Bobby was the only person who had access to that
No.
computer.
That's a lie.
So that would be a poor way to ask a question. I know better than that. Who would all have, once again, you know, who would all have access to that?
Back then,
Mm-hmm.
whoever came into my house.
And that would include your sons and Tom. And the doors were always unlocked. Okay. You know if Bobby went on the internet a lot during those times, during that period of time?
I don't know.
Do you remember what shift Bobby was working back then?
Third.
What hours is third shift? Is that midnight to 8 a.m. or is that a different?
I think it was from 10 until 6 or 7.
10 p.m.
Something
to
like
6
that.
or 7 a.m. Okay.
Or 5 until whatever.
When was
I don't remember.
Okay.
Hamilton something, what was it called?
No, it was at Federal Mogul.
Federal. Okay.
No, wait, maybe not.
I thought he was talking about something about
He
Fisher
did-
Hamilton?
He did work at Fisher Hamilton. And he also worked, he still works at Federal Mogul. I don't know.
Are we
Now
sure?
I couldn't tell you.
Sure.
I couldn't
Okay.
tell you
Okay.
if it was Hamilton's or if it was
I
Federal
think it
Mogul.
was Federal Mogul for this, I don't know, I think in
No. He's been there a
a
while.
long time, so,
Yes.
yeah, long time.
Where's
I
he
don't
work
know.
now?
Federal
Mogul?
I don't know if he got the
He's-
job.
Do you remember when you got the computer, your desktop computer?
I have it on my probably 2002, 2003, 2004. I don't know, honestly.
I'm gonna write down the two figures and then unsure after that, is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Prior
I
prior
don't know.
to 05 though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you don't know, do you remember at all when you got your AOL dial-up?
Like I told you, I don't even remember having it.
Okay.
I know the kids used to get cards and do the SMS or whatever you want to call it.
Text messages for that?
SMS?
SMS, yep. Mm-hmm. That was like,
Early
here's an
text?
education for you young kids. It predated text messaging. You did it on the computer. It was like
Oh.
instant messaging.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna get personal here, Barb. It's just between us girls.
Okay.
Do you remember on the 31st? There's two different ways. I think Scott was maybe trying to. I don't know. There's two different ways that two different statements I got there that Scott made. One is that you came home about 11 o'clock that night or so on the 31st, and the other one later on, Scott says, well, Barb spent the night at my house, and I think she went to work in the morning on November 1st, right from my house. Do you remember which of those? Did you stay over that night?
I don't remember which
That's
one.
the big scandal that I'm looking for.
And it's not a big deal. We know
No,
that you
not at
can't
all.
remember, but we have 2 interviews of Scott, and it was a little different on the 2.
Okay, so was it more common for you to spend the night, or more common for you to come back home?
Oh, I used to spend a lot of nights by him.
Yeah, you got 2 kids that are, you know, the two youngest kids are old enough to stay by themselves, I think.
And they could watch your 2 younger ones back then, correct? So,
Did you watch that movie? Everybody, I must have lived a sheltered life. Everybody watched Prison Break back in those days.
did
Do you
that, so I
remember
went to
watching
go watch
Prison
for
Break?
it.
oh yeah.
Yep.
Do you remember that was on at 8 o'clock that night?
Only 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
You remember watching it?
When we first got back from the hospital, it was around 8.
Yeah, I
Okay.
left and I went
Yeah.
home to watch the Prison Break.
Yeah, you dropped me off.
Yeah.
So then you must have driven back over to watch that.
Yeah.
And what's the distance from where you 2 live? How far was the?
About 4 miles, 2 miles, 4 miles,
2, 3
It's not
miles,
far.
I guess.
just a couple miles. It's not, I don't know.
So you could get there in about less than 10 minutes? 5
More than
minutes?
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
What's going on in your family that all of a sudden Steve starts accusing everybody of all this crap out of the blue?
He wants out.
Wait,
Is what
Once out
his-
of jail. Do you think he's involved in Teresa's death?
Honestly, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. Who do you think? I know you didn't
I
see it.
don't.
You don't. Do you know who killed Teresa Hallbuck? Okay. All right. But you don't think your family's involved?
No.
Okay. Has there ever been any discussions amongst the family where they feel they do know who's involved or they do have knowledge on who did this? No?
When this all took place, I'll be honest with you, I didn't talk to my family for 4 years.
Okay. How come?
Just didn't because they hung around with them.
Oh, okay. So they got along better with Tom than their own daughter, you, and sisters or whatever? Okay. All right. So were you kind of like the, I don't know, the black sheep of the family? Kind of like we don't talk to Barb that much?
I feel that I still am.
That's too bad.
Okay.
It is,
Yeah.
that you're doing shit.
Yeah, it's awful. Sorry to hear that. So, but it's your feeling, you don't know this, but it's your feeling that Stephen's not involved.
Honestly, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I really
All right.
don't.
All right. So you really just don't know about what happened or anything. You just don't know.
I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay.
That's the honest to God truth.
Okay.
Do you have any idea? And maybe Jeff asked this and I was full gathering. I don't know. Do you have any? If it wasn't Steve, who would have done
I honestly don't know.
it? Okay.
I know the answer to this, but I have to ask it. Do you think that Scott's involved?
No,
Okay. Why are people trying to say that Scott's
I
involved?
don't know.
Okay.
I
Do you think that's to kind of like get the heat off me and push it on your husband? Because you're the black sheep, are they trying to do something to your husband? Is this like a get back at you and him because they don't like you?
I mean, that's just, I'll be honest with you. My mother don't like him. Okay. She's out there telling people that he abuses me, which is wrong. Because he doesn't.
Mhm. Why is this still from Tom, or is this from your brothers, or your somebody that's?
Like I said, my mother, I don't know about my dad so much, but my mother doesn't like him.
So do we think this is higher than just Steven saying he did it? This is a couple of family members saying, well, you know what? If we have to blame somebody, let's blame him.
Could be, I don't know.
Okay.
But I know he didn't do nothing. Because I was with him that day.
Mm-hmm. Other than at work. And
Right.
when you weren't
And
with
when
him
I-
at work,
and
he
when
was
I
at the
was
hospital.
home. Bobby was home when I was home.
Bobby was home that day for sure. You remember that? When you got home
What?
from the hospital? Or from
Oh.
work?
From work around, I don't know, about 5:30 or something, when it was getting dark,
Mhm.
he'd come home from hunting.
Bobby did.
Yeah.
And where were you when you saw this? Where were
I
you
was-
standing when you saw Bobby come home and as
I
it was
in the
getting dark?
house when he come in.
Okay.
Actually, everybody was there then.
Okay.
Brian was even there because he rode to work with me. He worked with me at the same time.
Okay, so Brian was in the house also.
Yes. He usually came home, took a shower, and left to go by his
Go see his
girlfriend.
girlfriend, yeah. I get
Where was
that.
Brendan at this time?
In the bedroom playing video games like always.
At 5:30, you know that for
That's
sure?
a normal teenager.
That's what he usually does.
Okay, but did you physically see him
I
there?
don't know if he
Don't
was
know.
in the bedroom.
Hmm. But usually he
could
was
have been in the
in.
living room watching TV
Yeah.
too.
He was in the
Like
home.
I said, he
Okay.
was home. They were all home because Blaine was getting ready to go trick or treating with his friend.
Mm-hmm. In this phone call, Steve's talking about you running somebody off the property, or is that Zellner's? Well, tell me this. There looks like there's a story here.
I think that all came from my mother. When Zellner was there, she was doing a bunch of stuff or whatever. My mother had called me.
She what?
I think my mother had called me, or did I call her? I don't know. Either way.
And what date are we talking about this happened? How long ago?
I don't even know what day it was.
Okay, but recently? Last few
Yeah.
months?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
She had a bunch of vehicles down there, and she was doing some kind of stuff or whatever. And I had called. I don't know. I can't remember if she called me or if I called her. And I told her that we were going to come over there because we wanted to talk to Zellner about this Kevin guy.
When you say we're coming over,
Me and him.
okay.
Who's the Kevin guy? I don't think I've heard that.
Kevin
Oh.
Romolo sent Scott a text about seeing Teresa's car.
And you're
Okay.
telling that I withheld it from, or whatever she said. I give it to her, she sent it right off, so.
Okay, so
We just still got the text.
you're gonna
message.
go over and you're
Sure.
gonna talk with Zellner.
Yeah, he wanted to go over and tell her what we,
Yeah, the info that he got, the text, sure.
and something to do with another guy, Manitoba, right? I don't remember his name.
Who's that?
A guy I work with, it's actually, it's actually, this is the guy, was the cousin's dad? Teresa's cousin's dad? Teresa's,
What was her name? Carmen
Carmen something,
Bartwell.
yeah.
She had died from an overdose, man.
Yeah, and they asked me, they asked if I could give the father's phone number to
Zellner.
Zellner, because if they want, because it took them, what, a year and a half or a year?
No, a month.
A month to get her readings, and it all happened just shortly before.
Oh,
So
that
they
incident?
They were willing to give Zellner the passes so they can test it compared to what they found, I guess. And I just took the phone number and just handed it off. Just the middleman.
Okay, so she died of an overdose around the same time that this incident happened. Okay. And who
So-
brought this up? Was this Zellner asking you the questions?
No,
Who was
some guy
asking?
The guy at
from
work asked me. if
The
I
guy
wanted
from
to
work
give-
asked
Okay.
you about that.
Give him the
Okay.
phone number. I took this phone number. Actually, it was not him. It was a guy knew. Another guy knew this guy. So-
Secondhand stuff.
You're right.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
to me, I was just a middleman. I was
Sure,
delivering it.
saying look into this.
So yeah.
Yep.
That
Okay.
he gave me the number and I gave it to Chucky. And I kept on asking Chucky if he had gave it to her. No, I haven't.
Mhm.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. So you're gonna go over and talk a little bit and what
talk to
happened?
Zellner. They took off.
They must have known they were coming, and the whole crew just
Yeah.
packed their shit.
Out the
Oh,
door,
and
eh?
we were gonna come over there and kick their butts off the property.
Oh, and then they
It's
all
not my
took off, huh?
property to do, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We hit Avery Road. There's like solid line of cars.
Just
bailing
out there, huh?
Yep.
How many cars do you figure were in that parade?
I don't know. Good handful for sure.
Five,
Seven,
six,
seven,
seven?
8,
Yeah.
7 or 8.
Mm. So you're never able to give that information then?
And it was not your intention to throw anybody off anywhere.
I was gonna enter a phone number.
How many times has she been to the property that you're aware
That
of?
I couldn't
We
tell.
don't know. It's pretty hush hush when that lady comes around with them people.
Why?
Why?
Because they know that you guys don't want to know that they're there, or what's the deal?
I don't
Don't
know.
know.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty hush hush every time.
I haven't talked to my mother in 2 weeks.
Really? And you guys are,
We're
I
close.
mean, she called me,
Mm-hmm.
but when she calls me, I'm usually still at work, so I can't answer.
I think the way they act around me is because of the ringleader. To be honest with you.
Cool.
the ringleader being.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's got those people controlled really bad. And now there's other, like I said, I get once a month, maybe twice a month. I get all these nasty messages.
From some family members?
No.
Oh, just from anybody.
His
Okay.
supporters.
Why is Attorney Zellner pointing the finger at right now Scott and Bobby?
I don't know. I would like to know that myself.
No, that was a blow watching TV and going, what the hell?
Yeah, and nothing beats finding out you're being looked at by some attorneys on television watching TV.
Now I got used to we're sitting in front of you guys. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Well, we got to say we're doing our job to look into things, you know. That's just what we're
And
doing.
the evidence that you were gonna, how much evidence did you provide to Zellner? It sounds like from the, at least
Actually,
what I
I
got on the
didn't
phone.
provide her with nothing.
Okay.
I didn't. The text from Kevin that he got, I had texted Brendan's attorneys.
Okay.
So they must have gave it to her.
So Brendan's attorneys are talking to Stephen's attorneys.
They must.
They would have to be.
Okay, but I
Because
mean,
that's where I sent it to.
Okay.
I sent it to,
And you get along fine with Brendan's attorneys?
yes.
Okay. It's Zellner for some reason doesn't want to be in the same location as you.
What they told her, was it when you asked about the phone number? And she said that She can't talk to Barb anymore because there's a conflict of interest.
Why would that be?
I don't know.
So your own son's attorney says I can't talk to you.
No,
Oh, Zellner's.
Zellner.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's awful.
Because I had-
But, okay.
I had talked to Earl, and I told Earl to tell her to call me. And she must have told Earl that was conflict of interest.
Really?
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden, boom, that's all it goes.
And then that kind of explains it because they're pointing the finger at you, so that's why there's a conflict of interest. Hmm. Okay.
Is there anything you've learned during the?
You've answered this already, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
No, you say he's gonna get me mad too, and he didn't. I just said.
Out of the woods again. That's not true. Is there anything you might have learned in the past dozen years that might lead you to think, lean you towards Stephen being the guy who did it?
I'll add to that, or your son. Has your son ever said anything to you to lead you to believe that Stephen made him do something? Okay.
Well, remember what he did say to Bobby and Mike?
Well, that, yeah.
Because he did ask Bobby and Mike Osmondson if something
That was
about.
after the fact.
That was
That
after.
was when Bobby got the boat filled.
Bobby got the what?
Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what was that then?
What day of the week that was? We're gonna, I'm sorry.
No.
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Yeah,
I know it was in November though.
Yep.
I think it was like the first week of the first part of November.
Well, let me try to filter through this.
I know, because we had to get rid of it after a while.
I'm not, it's
When was
not
that?
adding up, but what did Brendan ask Bobby and Mike about?
Brendan didn't ask Bobby and Mike shit. It was Stephen that asked Bobby and Mike Osmondson if they'd like to move the body or hide the body.
Okay.
That I remember clearly. We just discussed it the other day at the house.
Okay, who did he ask again? Stephen asked who?
Mike
Stephen asked
Osmondson and Bobby.
Bobby and Mike Osmondson.
Okay.
You
I
think
know.
this was in November sometime?
It was when Bobby picked up the deer, the roadkill. Because they were in
It
the
would have,
garage, right?
yeah, right. When did they, I don't even know what day they took the yard under,
Saturday, November 5th.
it was before then because the
Yeah.
deers.
Yeah, the deer was in the garage
And they
then.
let it hang that whole time, they wouldn't let
Yeah.
them
Hmm.
bring it.
Hmm.
So after
So
we
would it
got
have
back,
been
we had
before
to
the
get
fifth?
rid of it.
Huh?
And says after we got to go back home, then we had to get rid of it because it was no good.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about, do you remember about what time you went to see Scott's mom at the hospital? I know it was after work, but approximately.
In between 5 and 5:30, it picked me up about.
After I got, after hunting.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember, were you in the house or were you standing talking with somebody outdoors or? You know, you're doing.
You're doing awesome.
I'm
Thank
gonna tell
you.
you something. You were doing so marvelously.
And we totally understand because it's hard for us to remember. I can remember last week,
You're
so
doing
to remember
very well
back.
at
But
all.
this is a date that I believe is probably stamped in your head because you have a son that's living with it every day, right? So I understand that it's different than just last
Son,
week.
that's innocent.
Yeah, so we understand. But it's still 13 years ago, so we understand it's hard to remember. But there are some things that you do remember just based on probably rehashing that day over and over again because Brendan's sitting in jail.
Do you remember where you inside, outside? Because you're doing so well with the rest of this.
Mhm.
It wouldn't surprise me
Honestly,
to
I
have you
don't
remember.
remember if I was inside watching out the window for him to come. I don't remember if I was
But I
outside or
told you
inside.
things too that I don't remember.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world to not remember. You said that you left Zellner a message on the 24th when that whole schlemazel went on. What did you leave her? I'm interested.
You mean when I called her?
Yeah. Mhm, you left her
After
a
all
message.
this stuff went on the TV with him?
Apparently
Is that what
this-
you're talking about?
on
They
the
know what
tw-
you
on
said,
the
so-
24th,
I don't
on
remember
the
either.
24th, you were talking with Steve, and Steve, you said, I called her, and he said, she's not in. And then you said, yeah, I know, I left her a message.
Yeah.
What was that message? I won't blush.
I honestly don't remember.
It was.
Was it
I kn- I
was it an
know-
angry message? What are you
Oh,
doing?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Pretty much like the one these guys heard of me on the background. It's
Well, it's
You're never
understandable.
supposed to say it
It's
'cause
understandable, yeah.
just shoot up. Took the tongue off the leash and let it run.
Yeah. We've all done it. We've all felt that way in life.
That's good. And I'm asking why you guys moved off the Avery property.
Honest to God truth, when Mark Rieger, and Tom Fossbender, however you pronounce his
Mhm.
last name,
Mm-hmm.
they told us that it was our best interest to move away.
Us being you and Scott.
So when you heard that, you decided probably is?
Well, because he didn't get along with my parents
Mhm.
back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured, well, to make things easier, I'll just move out.
Who owned that trailer?
She did.
I did.
It's a
It's a modular.
It's a, yeah, it's a double modular home. Did Chucky buy it from you?
No, he bought it from the bank.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you just walked away from it and
Yep.
stopped paying on it,
Yep.
then the bank took it over.
Yep. I was not living with you. When did you move in your house? I even moved myself in here. I came home from work one night, my jailer was empty, and I was living by her.
Well, that's nice of you. That's love. That's love when she moves you in. And you don't have to lift a finger. That's good. That's good. That's good. I like that.
Is there any one thing, Barb, that took place between you and your family that accounted for you not talking for 4 years? Or was it a lot of stuff or what?
I just think it was a little bit of everything. You know, with Stephen going to trial and Brendan going to trial. I mean, I went to trial myself. I didn't have nobody. It was only me.
Yeah, I couldn't go.
My boys went once in a while. My niece went once in a while with me. But most of the time it was just me.
For Brendan's trial,
Yeah,
Stephen's
for-
trial, you
yeah,
didn't go.
no.
But we couldn't go, because I was supposed to, I had to testify for Stephen, or against Stephen. And then I had to be there for when Brendan and I begged him to put me on that.
Did you have to testify?
No, they let me go.
Oh.
Because
Okay.
it was, if I went on that stand, I wouldn't
he wouldn't be with me today.
Oh,
I
sure,
couldn't.
sure, yeah.
And I don't know what that lady's name was.
Julie?
Jill? Yeah.
Yeah.
She let me.
Okay, good.
Hey, Barb, there's something I'm dying to ask you.
Is this okay? I'm sorry to keep you this long. Is this okay? All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for both talking to us.
Why does Stephen have so much control of our family? Even he's in prison and he's tons of miles away and years removed. And yet it seems like he runs the show. How
Maybe he
is that?
thinks he does.
Well,
Do your parents allow him to be kind of like a leader of the clan? No?
They're 80-some years old.
Okay.
So,
But he's not the oldest son.
No, Chucky is.
Chucky is, okay.
It's
But,
Chucky, Stephen, me, Earl.
okay, all right.
you know,
It's messed up.
if I had, I have a brother and I don't see him because he lives in Pennsylvania. I don't see him much. If I had a brother, and I thought even remote might have jammed my son up with something, I'd have a lot of difficulty talking with him about anything. You know, anything.
In the beginning, I was mad
Okay.
because I didn't know if I should believe it or if I shouldn't believe it. But I had all these people coming to me and saying, "Well, you know he did it. You know he did it."
It's been hell.
Like,
Yeah, I
at the
believe
end
it,
of the
sure.
flash.
On where I work right now.
Really? So
Yeah.
people have
All the time,
opinions and they let
he
you know?
did it. You know he did it.
Mm,
It hasn't been easy.
sure.
It finally calmed down. When it did calm down, it was great. And all this stuff broke out in the last couple of weeks on the news. It's like I said there, oh, I'm gonna have a rough day tomorrow at work.
Mm,
And
But you know, you're very understanding to accept phone calls from them. Because like I said, if I were in your socks and I even had an inkling that my brother would have jammed up my kid, the show would be over as far as the two of us would be and speaking with one another. And I'm just curious, because it seems like, you know, he's telling you in this phone call, just don't lie and don't answer the phone. Just go to work. How does he do that? How does he do it?
3/4 of the time, I don't listen to him.
mm,
It usually goes in one ear, out the other.
just rambling.
no, sure.
He's very controlling. Guy.
Really?
That he is, yes.
Yes.
Very.
Very
Is
so.
that from the time when he got out of jail the first time and he was a pseudo celebrity in the state where it's like, look at me. So
Yeah.
I'm the star
Was it
here.
before that more? I don't know what
So
it
even
was.
before he went to jail.
Even before?
So he was kind of like thinking he was better than the rest of the family. So I'm like a leader here. Okay, so it's his personality. Okay.
Okay. Mom and dad, every dad, I can address moms. Every dad has got a pecking order of most favorite, least favorite kid.
And everybody knows who it
Where's
is.
Steve fit in that order?
Do they show
My
favorites?
dad?
With your dad, with your mom, with your parents.
I know, I'm down here.
That's
Really?
what
So
he
you're-
asked you. Tell him what
What
you
about
want
Steven?
to hear.
Do they think Steven can do no wrong ever? And he's completely innocent and he's like the golden child?
Well, if Stephen would do something, he'd blame it on me. I would get the blunt end of it.
Now, it means even now. See,
Even
they're
now?
still buying him
Huh?
property. Steven's in prison.
And they're buying him
Steven
property.
to live on when he gets out. It's Steven is the most favorite one of the three boys. Well, Earl's-
It's in between Stephen and Earl.
So Steven and Earl are kind of favorites.
Yeah.
And then
That's for sure.
and then it
it's probably Chucky and
then it comes Chucky and then you. Why does the girl get dead last? Why do you get dead last? It's always been that way? Or it's only been a certain amount of time? Why? Is there... I mean, I don't want to bring up bad stuff for you. I'm sorry that I am. It's just that I feel bad for you.
I couldn't go out until I was 17.
Oh, they're overly protective of you? Were you kind of like
Nobody was good enough for me.
Oh.
Nobody.
Oh. So did you kind of make it a little bit harder on them? Kind of just ran off and did your own thing and that
Well,
kind of soured them? Okay, all right. But it sounds like they did it too, but they gave the boys a longer leash. You got the shorter leash. Okay.
Way longer leash.
Sure. Can I ask about this bonfire that day? Do you remember anything more about who was present and what aspect of the fire that you saw? And I call it a bonfire. Maybe you just call it a burning of scrap materials. I don't know. I mean, whatever. Might not have been wood. It might have been just getting rid of crap in the yard. But do you remember anything about that?
All I know is there was a fire.
Okay. Do you remember the first time you saw the fire on that day? Was it the smell that first alerted you to it, or was it looking out and seeing
You
it?
could see it.
Okay. So was it already dark? Was it already dark or was it dusk? Any light in the sky?
I don't remember if it was dark or light.
Was it after you were going to be picked up to go visit his mother?
I seen the fire then.
So when he was coming over is when you first kind of saw the fire.
I think
At
so,
5:30,
yeah.
I don't recall seeing the fire.
Because you
That's
come
when we came
in.
home. That's when we came back.
Oh,
When we
yeah.
came back from the
So when you left, you didn't see it.
Don't remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't remember if there was one or not.
Okay, but when you came back, you saw a fire.
Yeah,
And what time
And it
do we
was
think that
only-
was?
around 8.
And who was around it?
After 8.
Who was near it?
Bobby was there.
The fire?
No,
That's what he asked you.
Oh.
Who was around the fire? The fire.
I believe Stephen and Brendan.
Okay.
I believe. I don't know.
Did you talk to Brendan that day when he came home from school at any point? Or was he just kind of on the compound, and I'm calling it compound because he did.
I call it
Was he
compound.
running around? I mean, you knew he was there, but did you get to
Brendan,
actually talk to him?
When I got home,
Mm-hmm.
he was in the house.
Okay, and what time did you get home that day?
Are you talking work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or around 5.
Okay.
10 to 5.
Got home at 5 p.m. and Brendan
10
was
to 5, 5 o'clock.
in the house, and you know that because you saw him.
Yeah, they were actually all there.
So you saw all 4 of your sons in
Bobby was-
your house?
Yes, Bobby came home from hunting. And then he went to lay down for a while before he had to go to work because he worked third shift.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then Blaine goes trick-or-treating.
Blaine-
Bobby lays down.
Yeah. Brennan was playing video games. What he did every day after school.
Okay.
And I told Brennan, I says, make yourself something to eat. I says, and I'll be back later. I'll go to the hospital to see Scott's mom.
Okay. All right. So when you left, all 4 of your boys were in that house. Not the trick-or-treating son didn't leave yet. Bobby hadn't left for work yet, or they had left already.
I think Blaine left in between Scott coming, or before Scott came, and, in between, by the time I got home,
Mm-hmm.
and before he got there.
You said that was Blaine.
Blaine,
Okay.
because Blaine walked up the road a little ways for Carmen to pick him up.
Was Brad not living in the house at that point? I don't know how old Brad is.
Brad's not my son.
He's not.
No.
Well, never mind that.
Okay.
That doesn't help
He's
anything.
not my son.
Okay.
He's just the half brother to my boys.
Got it.
Oh.
Got it. Okay.
Was he there that day?
No.
No. Okay.
Just for the fame. stick his nose in where it doesn't belong.
Mm.
Makes up a lot of stuff.
So when you came back after visiting Scott's mother, which sons were in the house?
Blaine, or no, not Blaine. Blaine was in the Brendan and no. When we got home,
Yep.
At what time? At 8 o'clock?
After visiting your mother, that
Bobby
your
was-
second time, or
Bobby was sleeping,
Bobby was sleeping in the house. Okay.
and I believe Brendan was outside by Stephen because I had called him to ask him if he had a coat on and to be home by a certain time.
So you walked over there to talk to him and tell him that?
Told him on the phone.
She called him.
But I
Okay.
called Stephen, I should say.
Called Steven's cell phone.
Stephen's phone.
It's a cell phone or the?
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
cell
And Steven answered and said, "Okay, I'll tell Brendan," or handed the phone to Brendan.
phone. I think I talked to Brendan.
And told Brendan what?
I asked him if he had a coat on, and I told him to be home at a certain time.
Okay. Perfect.
And
Typical
how did he
dude.
act? How did he act at that time?
Huh?
How did he act? Regular Brendan? Did he have a coat on?
No, he didn't.
So did you tell him to go get one, or?
Typical 16-year-old.
Yeah. So he didn't get one then?
He did get one, yeah. He actually grabbed mine.
So he came home, got the coat, went back. And what time do you think this phone call was at? Before 8, you said be home by 8, so it was before 8. Or was it a different time?
No, that's when we got home
Yep.
around that time.
So you got home around 8. So the call was around 8, and you said be home by, was it 9, or be home by when?
9 or 10. I don't remember exactly what time.
Okay. When he came to get the jacket, did you see him, or he just came in, grabbed it, and left? Okay. And then was he home by 9 or 10?
I don't know.
Or you already?
I don't know. I was still by him.
So that was all by the phone. You don't know any of that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So when would you saw the fire then?
When he dropped me off.
She drove back to my house.
Yep.
Yeah, I drove back
Mhm.
to his house.
Okay. Okay. So at that time is when you
he
saw the two
came-
there.
When he dropped me off, it was in between 8 and
It was before 8 because I got home just in time to watch prison break. Yep.
Okay.
I'll never forget it.
Okay.
It's ruined my life ever since.
I'm not laughing at that.
Oh, I know
I'm,
you're
I'm
not.
laughing at that. How you said it. You know, it's. I totally understand. I totally understand. I'm sorry what you're going through.
I'm not gonna forget it.
I feel for you that you have to go through that.
That much I know.
it's just so hard to remember things from 13 years ago.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Here's something totally unrelated. Where is the dam and the turnaround here?
Right behind our new house.
Really?
Really, they're doing it behind your house?
So if
Oh
we come
no.
out to pick up your computer,
You'll see.
we'd be able to see the dam and the turnaround.
The dam? Sure. That's right. It's our property. That's not for them.
Are you still okay with us coming to get that computer?
I've got.
The whole computer or just the
I just need the tower.
tower? That's fine.
Okay.
Super.
I've got a consent form. I got 2 versions. One of them is used. Let's see. This
I
is a
got- like I said, I
search,
don't have anything
but we don't
on
want to
my
do a
computer.
search.
Okay.
Whatever's on that
Here,
computer
this one.
is on the computer.
Yeah.
I didn't put it on yet.
No idea who did.
Whoever took it maybe the last time put something on it. Who knows?
The cool thing about all of that, and that's possible, I guess, but that would show up in the time when things would get accessed and time things get downloaded. There are features on that computer that remember that crap. So, you'll find, you find out. Oh, either. I know that you guys have and a whole lot more cooperative.
Or could she be lying about it all?
Is it located at,
Kind of like
it's located at Princeton Road?
Princeton Road.
Okay.
That's
Thank you.
kind of one of the reasons we'd like to keep that, or have somebody. I'm not gonna look at it because I don't know. I'd be looking at a box, you know. I don't know that much
You're not
about
the only
computers.
one.
So, all right, could we go get that now? Would you be okay with that?
Sure, it's not hooked up.
Okay.
It would just be to take it's really the hard drive, but I don't want to mess with it, so I don't want to wreck it. So it would be just the main tower, just the tower, nothing else. So,
Little monitor, little keyboard.
It's not hooked up.
So-
It hasn't been hooked up since we
then
got
I
it.
guess my question to you would be this, is, first of all, look at this. So this says, I, Barbara Tadych, have been advised of my legal right to refuse to allow the police search of all electronic devices within my control. I'm telling you that now, so you don't have to consent to this. I have decided to allow Special Agent Wish and Investigator John, special agents, well, I'm a special agent with the Department of Justice Division of Criminal Investigation, and law enforcement officers to search the below listed electronic devices under my control with my consent at the location of there. And then I'll just list whatever kind it is, because usually we'll put like a Samsung brand desktop, whatever it is, and then I put a serial number. If you have a password for us to get on there, we put it there and then we sign it. Is there a password?
I don't know.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
If there was,
fair.
I don't
Okay.
remember it.
It's been a long time since you used it.
Could we go there and get that?
It hasn't been hooked up since they took it.
Sure.
So,
If you can sign there, and I know it's blank, but I could put desktop.
You're fine.
I
Well,
promise
we'll
we'll only put
Okay.
desktop. When we get there, we'll do it. In fact, I'll tell you what. When we go to your house now and we get it and I write it down, I'm gonna put X's through 2 through 5, and then I'll have you sign it. Okay?
And
Is
if
that
you
okay?
want, if you have a copier,
I don't. Well, I do, but it's not hooked up.
Oh, well, I could email this to you if you want a copy of it. This would be a receipt for you. What? Hold on. Let me get your email and I'll email it to you.
not with me.
What is your email there, Barbara?
I'm gonna ask you
My
this.
name,
Your email, that I could email you a copy of this.
B-A-R,
Okay, B-A-R,
B-A-R-A-T-A.
yep,
That's an A.
yep, Barbara, okay.
Tadych.
I don't intend to.
It's all small letters.
Okay, I'll make them all small. Yep.
At yahoo.com.
There's something
Yahoo.
that's so huge that I have to, that you have to be
Awesome.
met with.
When we're done here, I will scan this and I will send you a copy. And this would be your receipt saying that we have that. And you can get that back. What I'll do is I'll just send it to Madison and they'll download it. They'll look at just the, they'll look at the hard drive within it. And as soon as they're done, I can get that back to you. Okay? All right. Thank you. So yeah, I'll feel better if I cross out 2 through 5 to not add anything to this. Okay? So I'll have you sign this after I fill out line 1. Okay? Thank you. Do you think that, did you already ask this yet? Do you think that Bobby would talk to us? Not today, but another day? That's who we still would like
Yeah, I
to
would
talk
like
to.
to talk with Bobby. If you would
Because
talk.
his name was thrown out there, we would like
Probably
to,
would, but he,
it wouldn't be today because we already kept enough of your times tonight and we
the
appreciate that.
best bet would be to go on a Friday, because he doesn't work on a Friday.
Call. Or
Yeah, we'll
I
call.
What we'll
call
do
him.
What's his phone number, Bobby?
we will give
I don't
him,
know if he'll answer.
right now.
Give him my phone number.
Yes.
And then he can call me if he chooses. Okay?
You got a card?
Yeah.
Put yours on mine. Put your info on mine and you can each have your.
We'll give one-
So
We'll give one
Bobby,
of those to Bobby then.
and he's still using the J.A., your other last name? Oh, he's using
No,
Dassey. He's using
that's
Dassey. He's using
Oh, that's
Dassey.
not Tom.
That's right, Bobby Dassey. Okay, and you said his phone number, but we'll have him call us?
Yeah.
Are you willing to give it or no? That's fine,
He
that's
doesn't
fine.
really want me
That's
to
fine.
give out his phone
We'll go
number.
No
this
problem,
way.
no problem.
Easiest way for us to get him to talk.
That's fine, sounds good.
He's, I had it once this all broke loose. I said, come and talk to us. And sure enough, I got
Yeah.
Yep.
And like I said, we really appreciate this. Thank you so much. All right.
Well, like I
And
said
I'm sorry
before,
that your
we
son
don't have
is in
nothing
jail.
to hide.
Okay.
We got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I know my son didn't do nothing.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm sorry that your son's locked up. All right. Very sorry.
It's been hard the
Oh,
last
I
12 years.
I believe it. We both have children, so we can only imagine what you're going through, and it would be awful. So
Sucks.
sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm sorry for Teresa.
And I'm very, that's the number one victim here is, yes. The number one victim's Teresa,
I don't have
but
no kids.
your son has been locked up, so it's an awful thing
That's
also.
sometimes a good
So,
thing, sometimes it's.
I wish I could have had kids.
Yeah.
I wish I could have, but I can't. So I got it. Love
Sure.
these sisters much. But I got my
Good.
grandkids now. It's
Good, good. Yeah,
You can spoil
good.
those just as bad.
I got all my
Oh, cool.
grandkids on my
Oh, how nice.
Usually they get the foot
Yep.
and the hand.
Oh, is that cool? That is
That's
awesome.
great.
That's awesome. Good for you. That's awesome.
Isn't that something?
That is very
It-
awesome.
You know, I've got, like, the grandkid I've got is not my son's child. This young lady had a beautiful little son before my son was involved with her, and Dad ended up taking his life. And this little guy, from the day I met him, he was about a year old, and I'm visiting my oldest son in the hospital. He had some stuff going on. The little guy grabs my finger and he drags me out in the hall. He wants to go for a walk with me. I said, "You got me."
Yeah,
You
that's
know, you
awesome.
got me.
Yeah,
That's
it's fun.
awesome.
You come home,
Yeah,
you come
kids
around
are.
to you.
Isn't that a great feeling? That's awesome.
Well, all right, if you guys are okay.
Can we
with
follow
it,
you? Can we follow you to your location? We'll wait right outside. We won't even come in. If somebody just wants to hand it to us, I'll then finish the last, what it is, and then away we go. All right? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate
13
it.
years ago, I thought you were. It was much more than I was expecting, and I really appreciate it. And that's.
And you got our numbers now, so don't hesitate to call us if you have questions of
If you
us.
have anything that you need answered.
Or especially if you have more information that all of a sudden you find
You
out.
got two more.
You got two people here that are being honest with you. We just want to get down to the facts of the investigation. We're not looking to bury anybody.
Yep.
Okay? Okay. I understand. Yes, I understand.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Yes, I understand. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll be following you though. Okay? We'll follow you. All right. Thanks, Scott. Well, look at the snow, huh?
Yeah. But I'm trying to dust mine off, but I'm not sure I remember. Boy, you got a spot out here, man. Oh.
Wow, this is nice. Where's it going to be?
Oh, great. I see it. It's over all the
Turn around just on the other side of the.
All right.
Was that your former land that they took some of it? Or no, that's a different land.
Yeah,
Okay.
let this out.
I was just
Oh,
wondering where the
okay.
dam and the turnaround were.
Oh, okay. Beautiful view. Very nice place you got here.
Man, this is heaven.
Very nice.
We shoot deer back there. We
I was
hunt.
gonna say,
Awesome,
you gotta
awesome.
have them coming into your
That's
yard.
great.
There's all kind. We just pulled our cameras out of the woods last night, and Oh my God, it's a nice
Oh,
barn.
awesome.
I got a 300-pound bear this in September
Where?
Here?
in Crivets.
I was gonna say.
Well, I got it in Dunbar, actually.
Wow,
yeah.
nice.
Shot one that was 405.
No.
Wow.
Gee.
Oh, that's awesome. What acreage do you have
We
here?
got 5,
5?
almost 6 acres.
That's.
Oh, okay.
It's 600 and some feet of river frontage.
Oh, this is fantastic. Wow.
Oh,
Well, I'm happy for you guys. This is a beautiful place. All right, so I
Here,
will.
I'll take that part. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, it's an HP Pavilion.
Okay. HP. Let's see.
See the ice forming on the river?
PAVILION
Quiet.
Oh, I love ice
705W. And then a serial number.
See, that's
There it is.
That's just all fun.
Ice fishing? Oh, I love it.
5
Don't I spend all winter every weekend?
62
Really?
I travel everywhere to
562
ice fishing.
AA.
I went ice
And
fishing.
password is
with him.
unknown.
Well, I went more than once, but once, that one done me in.
Yeah, we went off. And
Oh,
when we came
can you
back,
put an
we were
X
like
through
almost
two
a
through
mile
just
down the
cross
road.
all that out? There you
Down
go.
the ice to get back on
Yep.
the shore because it
Perfect.
split apart and dropped on us.
Oh, that's. I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
with you, Barb. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Can you
not
just
good.
put this down as a witness?
Good.
Was not good at all.
Thank you.
We had to walk all the way down and around, and then he jumped off, and he had to take my hand to get me off.
Oh.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
Well, he was nice enough
Thank
to
you very
take your
much.
hand.
I was just telling Scott you got a beautiful home here and the acreage and the,
yeah,
the
bless.
view, very much so.
Bless.
So again, it was very good talking to both of you.
I'm
Thank
going
you.
hunting tomorrow because I got
Oh.
a big one.
Ah, there you go. There you go.
Well, if you could knock Bullwinkle down, I'm looking
She's got
forward to
two.
Yes.
seeing him.
She's got 2 does already.
Oh,
Really?
awesome. Awesome.
Outstanding.
Very good.
That's
Good luck.
the only sport I really, really like.
Good.
She's a good
Good.
gun deer hunter too.
I'll bet.
That's
Good.
the best deer hunt party you can ever have.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
Outside.
That's it.
All right. Great
Thanks
meeting
again.
you both.
We sure
All right.
appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Anything to
Yes.
help.
All right,
Yes. Thank
thank
you
you.
again.
I hope I
Thank
answered
you
your
again.
questions.
You
Just
did
remember,
very-
remember, my son is
more
listening.
than I
Yes.
would
Yes.
have expected. I'm telling you. I
I
appreciate
just
it.
learned a couple of
I
Yeah.
understand that.
Yep.
All right.
All right, man.
We'll see you
All right.
soon.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what I always say.
If you want, I can. I might as well keep possession of this and get it to Madison. So what I'll do is I'll do a report saying that. Let's see. I gotta write down the time we got it at this house. Let's see. Where is? All right. So it is right now. Is that right? 3:45.
Yep.
Okay, 3:45 p.m. Retrieved desktop. All right, and this is at the Pretrial Road. And that will be the end of this interview with Scott Tadych and Barb Tadych at 3:46 p.m.